It's been a crazy week, man. A crazy 2 weeks. We've been working very hard out here, and a lot of people just been getting off late, but we're here, and we're glad to be here, even when things seem to be irrelevant. Like there's really nothing to really like talk about. But
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, we do, Fama. We do have something to talk about. There's been some interesting news that has come up lately about who's buying games and who's not buying games, who's playing games and who's not playing games. And we're seeing a report by Nintendo about how old their average gamer is. We're going to talk about that too, and about how our gaming is different from this new generation of gaming.
wait a minute, man. Hold on. Wait a minute. Where, where did you get all of this from, bro? Like, and what did I tell you about interrupting my
So,
introduction, man? What? And
hey, you know what it is. We got to talk about this. There's messages in between the lines, especially if you've been playing games and in the industry as long as I have. Reading certain articles about reports about what games are being played the most, how much money is, how much people are willing to spend, how much people are spending, what what games are successful, what games are not successful, and you take all those clues, right? It's like trying to put a puzzle together. You take all the pieces and you put it together. And I'm just basing this off of just anecdotal evidence of everything that's all these recent like spending and player reports that we've been getting these last couple months. The one from Circana, from Matt Piscatella, reports from the charts that we see, from the last couple months. The trends in, there was another report about the trends in the ages of gaming, like who's like what percentage of 18 to 24 is gaming, what percentage of 0 to 18 is gaming, what percentage of 30 and older or 40 and older are gaming. What
go
percent like
gamers. Shout out to the
no,
chat, man. Shout out to the chat man already, man. They got me
we'll
laughing. Talos
we'll
Ray,
dive
go
into
gamer in
that
the
a little
building.
bit.
Hey, look, Rez. You sound you sound like you got a lot of interesting stuff, man. So you know what, man? You done cut me off. I couldn't do the intro right, but I guess you know what, man? We come here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? So help us gaming. So with that, man, let's get this show on the start. Y'all thought I was gonna say on the go, didn't you?
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I just wanted to say this real quick. Talos Ray said the ponies are crying. They're out here in shambles, man. They realize that, the PlayStation is an Xbox now. They realize this. And their only counter to this is now to bring up a shipment, not a sold to customer, not a sold to consumer, but a shipment, a sold to the retail store. Once again, not listening to what Sony has told them that Sony doesn't care. But here we go. 80 million shipped to retail stores. In reality, people, that means the PlayStation 5 still hasn't gotten out of the 70 million mark of console sales. They're still in the 70 million mark. PlayStation 5 is still behind the PlayStation 4. Um, Resident, I'm gonna go to left field real quick because I have to cook just a little bit. I gotta have fun with this. Talos Reed's also saying Halo ODST is dropping into Hell Divers. True.
Carlos Free in the building.
Yo, Go Gaming in the building. Go Gaming, much love to Go Gaming. What he keeps these donkeys biting their nails. I love the way he put up his post.
Shout out to the GOAT.
At the Xbox community in the streets, I love it because they're not there for the fame. They're there for the realization of what real Xbox fans are all about. Snooki Jackson, what's going on, famo? I ain't seen my man Snooki Jackson in a minute. I'm glad he's here. I have been upgrading our show behind the scenes. Forgive us for the long wait. It's just I'm gonna be honest with our chat pack. First, I want to say this before I get honest with my chat pack. Welcome to everybody that is around the world making our channel international. No matter what flag you raise up, no matter what soil you put your foot on, when we come together as Xbox fans, we are one. We are a family of gamers. Two, if you're just a real gamer and you're stopping by, we double salute you. We love the fact that new people come into Di-RRec Gaming, get you a key, open up any rooms down the infinite halls, grab you some popcorns and pick any screen that you want. Welcome to the show. If you like what we're about, please do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, never miss a ones or twos on the beat, and get up on this stage and perform with us, man. We got plenty of mics to go around. Join the mighty chat pack community. Speak your mind. And this is what I wanted to say right here. Share, like, leave some comments, do whatever you feel. Chat pack community, you know I'm going mobile now. I'm mobile now. But finally, an update has hit, and now I can see all of y'all at once. And I don't even have to worry about it. So I just saw Snooki Jackson in the building. I see Metropolitan Gaming. I see other Zinc right now saying speak on it. And that was my way to confirm to y'all that now I can speak back to y'all. And you know I've been missing that because that's what Di-RRec Gaming is about. It's about speaking to you guys. I tried to narrate y'all voices. This is the channel of the streets, for the streets, and by the streets of gamers. We don't care if you are an old root gamer like Other Zinc and Pyro MD and my man God dang it Django 6. We don't mind. And up and comer gamers, young gamers like Talos Reed, we don't care, right? We represent them all, and we're highly passionate about doing it. It makes us feel good. We get a full circle of gamers, a good core family here on Di-RRec Gaming, and we're happy and proud about that. Rez, PlayStation is no more. Okay. I know I'm going left field, but I wanna reiterate this. It's no more. And what I mean by no more is the old PlayStation that we used to know is gone. It's gone. Okay. It's gone. There was a guy, y'all can still hear me, right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can still hear me. I'm gonna read
Good,
this off.
Famo. You're crystal clear.
All right, I just want to, because I'm mobile, y'all. I'm mobile. I'm doing this now mobile. I have to be moving around. I've shut my PC down. I don't care about my PC no more. I'm moving with new tech, and I'm gonna be bringing this new tech to help other people on the ground level that may not be able to afford PCs. I'm going back to my roots. I want to show people that you do not need a PC to do whatever you want to do. All right, I'm going mobile, okay, and I want to push this all the way to the next generation. You don't need to spend no money. You don't need to spend nothing to do this stuff. This stuff is purely from the heart, and it just takes time to be curious, like I do, and go search around and look around, and you can find other avenues. The old way of PC getting into things with PC, I'm done with as well. It's a new age on Di-RRec Gaming. I wanted to read this to y'all. So when y'all do hear me say, like, can you hear me? It's just me experimenting as I'm going as well. So I want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Sony's senior vice president And like I say, we don't make fun of people's names here on Direct Gaming. We're not childish like that. So if I get this man's name wrong, it's not because I'm trying to make fun of him. We respect people's names in different cultures around the world. Sadahiko or Sadahiko or Sadahiko Hayakawa says they are gradually shifting their gaming business from a hardware-centric business model to a community and engagement-based platform business model. This is coming from the Sony Senior Vice President. In the gaming business, we are moving away from a hardware-centric business model more to a platform business that expands the community and increases engagement. That sounds like Xbox to me. That sounds like a 100% Xbox to me. So, PlayStation is becoming like an Xbox. If you've noticed, I don't spend my time anymore engaging with dumbass donkeys. This bizarro war is over with now. I'm here to tell the Xbox community, leave the weirdos alone. They're in their 7 to 6 stages of grief. Leave them alone. They're going to learn the hard way. That was funny. They're going to learn the hard way. Just leave them alone. Their ship is already sank. It's already been confirmed to them. They want to ignore Sony. They want to still engage you with stupidity. But you got games to play. And that's what I wanted to say to them, Resident. To be honest, to the chat pack, we've just been playing games. We really haven't even been in the mood to just. We don't find the yellow journalism of the gaming media to be entertaining anymore. It's really boring and silly now. We're moving into our 25th anniversary, y'all. Gear up. And that's no pun intended to Gears of War. But gear up. Get some excitement about yourself about being an Xbox fan. We're moving into, and within 2 years, having a brand new multi-hybrid console PC. We're really going to have a real Xbox soon. Let that be your hype. We're pushing the value of Xbox. We're still going to talk, but you guys already know we speak from the heart. We don't speak from regurgitated news. We speak from the heart. This what Residence is about to bring to the surface. I'm eager to hear what he's found. I'm eager to hear it. We should be getting Crazy Lou in here in a minute. This show isn't going to be a very long show, but we're going to elaborate. Shout out to my man Ren in the building. Hello, gamers. I will watch the replay. Thanks for the support. Please share the video. Get us out to the real Xbox community. That's all we've ever asked. We let everybody else have all the half-breeds and the centaurs and the phony balonies and the double A. You can keep them. Over here, all we want is the real Xbox fans and the real gamers. That's all we want. Dallas Reese say ponies can't handle the truth. That's facts. I love that I can see my chat pack now. I love it, Raz. I can see them now. The update went real good. So they're having a hard time. It's not you guys that they're having a hard time about. It's the fact that Sony has let them down. They don't have an identity now. They don't have validation now. Their narratives and myths and theories are destroyed now. So all they want to do now is start up anxieties with you guys. They want to start y'all up and get y'all all upset over sales when we already know that in 2024, the number for 30 million sales for Xbox was already prevalent. Don't get into this. Remember, Xbox community, they did this to us last generation. They said PlayStation was selling us 3-1, 4-1, and all that. And Snooki Jackson said, Others Inc., you come back just in time. The ponies are in suicide watch. I love it, man. I love to read them. I can't help it, y'all. It's what I do.
Toki's basically saying to the donkeys, let's move on.
Facts, basically.
Because they're moving on from the donkeys, you know?
Facts, basically. So what happened? What happened, Xbox community? And I'm trying to bring y'all some history before I let Rez do some cooking because I really want to know what you got up your sleeve, Rez. Now, last generation, y'all, they did this same crap to us. Some of y'all believe the hype, right? Some of y'all thought, man, damn, Xbox only sold 35 million consoles. And then it comes out in 2019 or 2018 report, right? It was right before, not 2018. I'm sorry, that's too early. Around late 2019 to early 2020, the report came out for everything, right? Metropolitan said there's a donkey civil war going on. Exactly. Look, I want y'all to stay focused. We already know the donkey community is dumb. I want y'all to stay focused. They did this already, y'all, right? Remember, they said it only sold 35 million last generation. Remember that. All the yellow journalism, all the gaming outlets said it. Made you think that. And then the true report comes out and Xbox One. Xbox One, the most horrific Xbox experience of all time. It was one of the most horrific ones. It is the horrific one. And I'm an Xbox fan. I mean, you had to love the Xbox to have it. You had to love it because it was the most scrutinized console that I've ever witnessed. I mean, from the media standpoint to just gamers in general. I mean, it was just a crazy time. And then for us to find out that daggum console still sold over 60 million, that blew my mind away. I knew then, don't pay attention to the yellow journalism. Xbox community, I know it's hard, I know it's tempting, but if you have a leader mindset, you got to speak the truth. I got to tell you guys, don't give in to it. Don't even worry about it anymore. Understand that it's Microsoft writing a new page to this thing called gaming. Understand what I just read to y'all that Sony just said. Now, I want y'all to listen to this. If what I just read to y'all sounds like Xbox, then who's influencing who? Forget the console sales, forget all that. Who's influencing who? Sony's not influencing Microsoft. Rez, I'm gonna let you get this mic. I'm just cooking for a minute. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you have the show. I'm gonna let you have the show because I'm gonna cook.
Then Lee might cook too.
Facts, Rez. Chat pack. I'm gonna take y'all down memory lane. And I'm gonna make y'all understand why I always said big bank versus takes little bank.
Always.
How do I know this to be true? How is it that the new legal could just say something like this and it just stands true? It's because I've been around in these streets for a very long time. And it goes all the way back to the very first time the gaming industry collapsed. Yes, the gaming industry has collapsed before. I was a little kid. It probably collapsed when I was around 5 or 6 years old when it
got
collapsed.
oversaturated.
Yeah, it is possible. So when you hear people like Phil Spencer say that the gaming industry is unhealthy and they have to do something, it's because I don't want y'all to ever think that the gaming industry cannot collapse. It can collapse. And Talos Reed, like if I don't read y'all stuff, it's not because I don't see y'all. I see you, and I'm gonna make sure that you see me. See on Xbox Hellblade 2. See, I can read it. I just want y'all to know now I can read y'all. But bear with me because I'm cooking. Back then, the industry fell apart. And the consoles fell apart so bad that they all disappeared. They wasn't selling enough. The PC community had to take up the responsibility. It wasn't as strong then. It wasn't as big as it is today, right? That's right, Metropolitan Gaming. The video game crash of the 80s. Facts. Me and you were kids. We seen this. We walked through this, right? Now, I want you to
Shout out
follow
to
me, Metroplex.
Metroplex.
Right. I want you to follow me, Metroplex, because big bank takes little bank is something that no. Mid 80s, not mid 70s, mid 80s. The 70s is when console gaming emerged, started emerging. Mid 70s, late 70s is when the video games became commercialized. And then you got Pac-Man in 1980 that became an arcade sensation. And then you have the consoles making their way into homes from the arcades all the way up into the mid 80s. It crashed around 83, 84, right? We know this because here comes the story. Here comes the story, Metroplex, and everybody follow me. Famicom, aka Nintendo, right? Took a gamble and said, let's go Western with our console. They grabbed the little plumber, the little Italian plumber out of the arcades, made that their mascot. They dropped that console in the United States and that console blew up. Nintendo took a bold risk, unlike no other company in the gaming sector from the Japanese culture, took a massive leap of faith, and they struck gold. The Western market bit into it. While they're doing that, Nintendo single-handedly brought back console gaming. Single-handedly. And the Nintendo blew up. For 2 years, it was undisputed. And then along came Sega again. Notice I said again, because Sega was before Nintendo when they were making arcade machines and cartridges way back, late 60s, early 70s, before Nintendo even made a console. Shout out to my man J Mac, and I've been waiting for you, J Mac. We've been okay. Here comes Lou. Here comes Lou. Okay, I got you. I've been wanting to tell you, J Mac, that we hear you loud and clear. This show is here because of you, famo, and I wanted to give you a special shout out. Okay,
Famo,
you.
my jammies. What do you want?
Oh my God!
I'm about to go to bed. You
Oh my God! Look at Lou back.
Jammies.
I'm trying to cook, and here's Lou talking about his damn jammies, y'all. I better be glad he ain't in his damn underwear.
Listen, I'm wearing my jammies though, but hey, I got my PlayStation shirt on. So what we talking about? What we talking about? I got my PS shirt on.
And then he's trying to curse the show. Oh shit. Okay.
Shit.
So here we go. All right. So appreciate you, J Mac. We needed to be energized. The streets were spoken, and because of you, brother, we got back on. We've been working real hard.
What happened with J Mac? What did they do to J Mac? Who we gotta go out there and smack around? What did J Mac?
Yeah, here comes Crazy Lou, man.
I should have kept.
I should have ignored Crazy Lou, man. But look, Nintendo single-handedly took over, right? While doing that, it allowed Sega to get back into the game, right? Sega gets back into the game. They fail with Alex Kidd, but because Nintendo's doing so well, Sega's able to keep trying. So they finally get their mascot in Sonic the Hedgehog, and it blows up, okay? So now you have two great rivalries for great competition going head-to-head. The gaming industry is blowing up. It's just money cashing in. Everybody that's trying to make a new console just can't get in where they fit in because the popularity of Sega and Nintendo was just so heavy at the time. There was many consoles that were being made. They just couldn't hold the value with the consumer, right? So now we got two platforms that are just going head to head. And this kept going all the way from the late 80s all the way to the late 90s, right? So around 97, 98, it gets 96 comes in. And some company ends up screwing it up. We had a good 10-year run. For those that are too young, you just don't know, right? But the industry had 10 years of awesome competition. Some of the best commercials you guys have never seen in your lives. Some of the best going to school, talking about video game conversations that has ever existed came out of that 10-year span, right? Some of your best arcade experiences in that 10-year span. I mean, this span of 10 years was just incredible, and it hasn't been matched since, y'all. It hasn't. It hasn't been matched since, right? You had to live this to
Commercials were
know.
next level too, family. Remember
Next
those?
level commercials. You talking about jabs, bro? The commercials had jabs. They were jabbing at each other. It was ridiculous, right? But then there was a company that came in 1996 and
Which one?
screwed everything up. Screwed everything up.
Which one is that one?
This company was called Sony, right? Because the reason they screwed things up is because Nintendo pissed them off. And you can look this up on YouTube for those that don't understand, but there was a ordeal about Nintendo and PlayStation collaborating to make a console, and that they were going to cut in between how they make their money off the console. So basically, to make this long story short, Sony was wanting to get more cuts out of this console that basically Nintendo created, but Sony wanted to get most of the cuts through the music, through the CDs that they were going to make, and the marketing. So basically, Nintendo was like, well, damn, we created this damn thing, and all we're going to get is proceeds from the console sales? Hell no. You guys ain't never made a console, ain't never made a video game. You've never did anything for the culture of gaming, but you want to come in here and dictate us? It was like a smack in the face. So Nintendo was going to go big. Sony was going to go big on the music aspect. For everything that you hear as far as music off of every game, they were going to get their money off of it. So Nintendo was like, hell no. We went with Philips. They went with Philips. To make a long story short, that pissed off Sony. So the PlayStation wasn't built off of love and enjoyment for the culture. Let's see who's going to like this next console and get it and buy it and play it and like the games. That's not how the PlayStation was built. The PlayStation was built off of anger, hatred, and revenge. And you got to understand this. Anger, vengeance, and hatred. You got those three elements as to what created the PlayStation. You go look this stuff up. I don't have to lie. We come here to do one thing and one thing only. That's to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us game. So now you have this PlayStation in 1996 that comes out. And the soul of that console is to destroy Nintendo. Just destroy it. But Nintendo has so much of a gaming market share, and it's so popular. Mario is so popular. Mario 3 was just ridiculous, right? Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, everything Nintendo does is just on fire, right? That Sony started to realize that, damn, even though we're this powerful company, we just can't get into this gaming culture and make a dent with the consumers. So what did Sony do? Enter big bank takes little bank. See? They started buying up everything. They waited for a crack to happen with Nintendo, and Nintendo's crack was that they wasn't getting along with third-party publishers. Sony said, we found that one of their weak links is third-party publishers. So why don't we just start making some phone calls and do what we do in the music business? Let's make deals, right? Let's make these blind rate deals with these third-party publishers, cut them checks, and make them make exclusive deals with us for like 20 years. This is why everybody thought Crash Bandicoot was a PlayStation game, right? They treated them like they were music artists. Of course, they were cash grabbing, money hiding. They were doing all of this stuff. Why? Because big bank takes little bank. Yes, Nintendo was big, but let me tell y'all something. Sony was enormous during the 80s and 90s. It was a big electronic company, and the Walkman was the biggest thing since sliced bread. I mean, Sony was the leading electronic company of the world. Okay, Nintendo's just a gaming company. It had its little stuff going on back in Japan, yeah, for over 100 years, but it wasn't a big worldwide global phenomenon, like Sony, you know. So Sony was able to big bank them. Okay, thank you, J Mac. Thank you. It's crazy how you're waking up some and educating others. Keep cooking, pimp. Thank you, Femo. Salute. They didn't understand why I came out of nowhere and said big bank takes little bank. They thought I was they thought I used that term for Microsoft, but in reality, I was using their own history and I fooled these donkeys. See? I fooled these donkeys because the same way PlayStation got on top, guess what? Let me let y'all in on a little secret, donkeys. It's the same playing card that Microsoft is doing to PlayStation right now. This is how you know PlayStation ain't gonna win this situation. I told y'all, when Big Bank takes Little Bank, it's a rap. It's a real rap, not a Marlon rap. We don't come out here and get corny like Marlon, talking about RDNA 3.0. We don't have goofballs like that in our fan base. We don't go that far into the abyss of stupidity, right? People that holding these mics in y'all's community and don't even know what the hell they talking about, right? We come to cook y'all. We stand tall. Big Bank takes Little Bank because PlayStation bought up all those companies. They bought all them small little indie developers, studios. They bought over 250 of them. They put a lockdown on everything. They even made Grand Theft Auto exclusive. They put Madden on their damn. I mean, they bought up all these deals. So Nintendo said, okay. And they insulted Nintendo in a major way. When you read about what Sony said, they called basically Nintendo a sellout. Now, white America really doesn't know that term that well. When they think about sellout, they think somebody like, just told on somebody or something, But in the black community, being called a sellout is a very, very big deal. And in other minority cultures, being called a sellout is a very big deal. And Sony called Nintendo a sellout. And they asked them, why are you calling Nintendo a sellout? Sony said, because they're dangling over there with the Western market. They dealing with what? Basically, the Europeans. They're not staying true to their culture, right? They over here selling their own culture out for the Western world. This is true. This is documented. And that was a mighty blow to the image of Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo wasn't selling out themselves for the Western market. Nintendo was being courageous at one point. Yes, they put their games in Nintendo seal. We get all of that, but they deserved it because they single-handedly saved console gaming. So therefore, wow, there's some respect there, right? We knew as we were older that we were generous enough to have a Nintendo, to have a Sega, because we knew that these two entities kept us going, kept us having something fun. But Nintendo made it personal. Notice what I said. I mean, not Nintendo, PlayStation made things personal. What I want y'all to understand is there's personifications within their fan base that their fan base doesn't even understand because they're hypnotized about this company has hypnotized them. This is why you see hatred from them online. You see a vengeful attitude on the social web. Right? You see these aspects. You see they love to get personal. Well, see, and they're angry. You don't ever see these PlayStation fans happy about any motherfucking thing. They're always griping, bitching, complaining, whining, crying about some shit. Well, I'm here cooking real quick. Rez, thank you for being patient with me. I'm cooking because I want everybody to understand that the apple don't fall far from the tree. Right? So you got to understand this fan base that you're dealing with, understand why they're like they are, and learn to start ignoring them, because their problem isn't you. Their problem is Sony moving away from them, because everything that they said that had to do with their experience of gaming did not hold up in time. Look at us. Our experiences with Xbox is still holding up. The way we have fun on our Xbox.
Talking bad about my honey over here, man.
The way we have fun on our Xbox is still upgradable.
Don't listen to him, baby. You're still hot, baby. I love you. You're so gorgeous, baby. I love you.
We're still upgrading. Nothing is stopping the Xbox community. Nothing. Shouts to my man 30 Below. Nothing.
You don't understand, fam, the personal relationship we have with our PS5. I mean, we hug it, we kiss it, we show it love. It's such a
he has to do this to me, man. He can't let me cook. He has to do this.
I mean, we got to. I mean, famo, I got someone out there on Twitter doing this to the console all the time, kissing it. He keeps posting that picture how he kisses the console. That's what I do, and that is that I hug it. I spray it with white stuff, you know, make it nice and shiny, you know, family. That's what I do. Keep her clean, keep her beautiful. That's what I do. This is my favorite.
I see all of y'all's comments. I see all of y'all's comments.
Look at these.
I just want to say the chat pack is cooking. Keep talking, y'all. Everybody can see y'all stuff.
This is fun.
Keep talking.
We got to talk about how personal they get with this damn thing. I don't get it.
Now, I'm almost done, Lou. I know I'm almost done, Lou.
You sure?
You're last. You're gonna end the show. You're last.
Oh, okay.
You're last. I've only got about 8 more minutes in me, if not that. Okay.
8 more minutes. Oh,
if that, I probably don't even have that. Okay. So you gotta understand that they don't fall far from the tree. You gotta understand their DNA. That's what they're about. That's that weird energy, like J Mac is saying. Like Gen X said, this is factual. Sony at its core is a punk. Exactly. It is. All right. Sony, like realists used to tell everybody, Sony does not like to compete. All you gotta do is check their history. Big bank takes little bank. Okay. Now there's a difference as to what Microsoft had to do. Microsoft was trying to be fair and have a level playing ground. They built their games, they built their essence off of gamers. They were trying to get people to make a console for them. They were trying to get over here and cut partnership deals. But Microsoft, you're too American. You're too American. And the old guard wasn't going to have that. This is a Japanese iron scepter. You got to find your own way. Well, Microsoft, trying to hide the fact that Xbox was a PC, did pretty good. Now they're not hiding it anymore because Microsoft understood that they're not going to be able to come in here and change the minds of anybody. But for every Western gamer or anybody that took a chance on our console, we're going to build off of what they let us know. They operated a feedback operation where every single gamer that's a part of the Xbox community can give them feedback. They're open in the public. They're on their social media where you can actually text these people. Do not think that they won't ever respond. I'm living proof that they do. Don't ever think that they're too good to talk to you, because they're not. You see it with multiple people. You see it with Boomstick. Okay? You see some certain podcasters like Boomstick who has been able to form a relationship with people within the Xbox community that sit high in seats. So don't think that the Microsoft and the employees that they have there, whether they're small seats or large seats, that they think that they're too good. They're not. Microsoft's business is about making the world a better place for people through technology. They're into engagement. They're into products. They're into things. Okay. So being a a company that's a part of customer service is what Microsoft is all about. That's their roots. Okay, remember when Bill Gates and them created MXX? Hey man, they wanted to get that product over to Japan, and that young Japanese genius wanted to meet Bill Gates. Remember that. Don't ever forget about stuff like that, because those are the core essence to why Microsoft is the way it is today. It's always innovating, it's always changing, and that was a strong point with Microsoft. And this is why Microsoft is in the position that it is with Xbox. See, Nintendo and PlayStation cannot destroy Xbox. It can't. They can't destroy Xbox. They don't have the bank to do it. Understand that. Big bank takes little bank. So what did Microsoft do? After holding about 5 to 6 studios, they finally get 15 studios. They saw what? Sony still playing hardball. What was Sony doing? Money hacking. What was Sony doing? Blocking games off of Xbox. Sony forced Microsoft to play dirty. Big bank takes little bank. I knew that day was going to come.
DLC and content
Yeah,
packs
all of
too for
that.
game.
Facts. Making Xbox gamers feel like they wasn't worth anything just because they liked Xbox. And they kept doing this. And then the first bomb fell. Bethesda got bought. And then the 2 hydrogen bombs fell. The ABK Blizzard deal. I mean, Activision Blizzard deal. King. 3 atom bombs, matter of fact, happened. Mm-hmm. And when those, no hydrogen bombs. And when those hydrogen bombs cleared out the way, there was nothing left. Mm-hmm. What you're seeing right now is just PlayStation scrambling. That's what you're seeing. I'm just letting you know. I'm just truth bombing you. This is truth over feelings. I'm not here to play with donkeys. Nope. They can't compete with Game Pass because Sony doesn't have live service games and multiplayer games. I told y'all this. So there's no reason. There's no reason to put God of War on PlayStation Plus. Why? You donkeys ain't playing it. Nobody's gonna play it. There's no reason to keep putting There's no reason to put Spider-Man on PlayStation Plus and keep it there. Nobody's gonna keep playing it. You're gonna play it when you're done. It's one and dones. Sony knows they have a bunch of one and dones. That's why they don't do it. It won't be profitable for them to do it. But Xbox now is going to throw these old games.
Reasons why they're doing less and less.
Facts. But Xbox is going to take these 19-year-old, 20-year-old games, throw them over here on PlayStation and watch them blow up. Mm-hmm. See, let me tell you what won't happen. PlayStation puts a 20-year-old game over on Xbox, it's just going to be over there on Xbox. We ain't going to play it. Nobody's going to buy that shit. It's a different type of atmosphere over here. We don't care about PlayStation games. We didn't build this community up about PlayStation games. They know that we've been telling them that Forza was better than Gran Turismo for years, and they would lie through their teeth. J-Mac, no, it ain't. Look what happened. They just proved us right with Forza Motorsport 5. You just proved that you like it. It's better. Right. You proved it. Famo. I mean, Forza Horizon. Yup, you proved it.
Yeah, Forza Horizon is different though than Forza Motorsport.
Exactly.
Remember, yeah.
Exactly.
Horizon 5 is more of an arcade style thing compared to
exactly.
Yeah, so different
exactly. Things. Different. We're different. We're not the same. We're not the same. Mm-hmm. Sea of Thieves. We're not the same. They don't have nothing like that on their platform. They're about to get Gears of War, 19-year-old game. They never had something like Gears of War. They don't even know how to play the damn game. They don't know anything about it. They're going to get their heads knocked off. They're not even going to play that game much. That game's going to come out, it's going to have a good week or two and it's set. Because the minute they want to cross-play, they're just going to get demolished. They don't realize how dangerous and how insensitive Gears of War community is. They're going to find out. There's no loopholes with Gears of War. You're going to die. I'm just letting you know that right now. You're going to get beat up so much. It's ridiculous. I salute any PlayStation fan that hangs in there.
Some of the donkeys refuse to play Xbox players.
Yeah, they refuse it. They're refusing it. So I just wanted to do that to let y'all know that there was a purpose for big bank takes little bank. It's a page out of PlayStation, not a page out of Microsoft. And so what you're seeing is that the power of the bank, the power of the billfold, the power of the wallet, the power of the duffel bag is going to change the market. That's why we know why Xbox does not have to outsell PlayStation to get the market, because Sega didn't have to outsell Nintendo to get the market. Only donkeys think you got to outsell something to get the market. They're going to learn a lesson. They're going to learn a valuable lesson. So with that, I got my 2 mics. Rez, I want to say thank you for letting me cook. I just wanted to take these folk down memory lane so that they understand that we're not really into it anymore. We're not into the weirdos. We're not into the donkeys. There's really nothing, because the old PlayStation is gone. We have to pay attention and listen to what Sony's saying. So it's over with.
That struck the donkeys hard. They had full meltdowns about it.
They're still going to have full meltdowns. I mean, those guys are never going to. Look, you need to understand something. This is why I always talk about this in the morning. I tell my chat this: stop engaging them online. Let them talk whatever they want. You don't need to go and have a fist fight with these guys, because at the end of the day, it's never a win-win situation, because either you're both wrong or either one is right. But at the end of the day, okay, if one is right, what's the point to that?
And you're not going to convince them.
They're not going to convince them. There's no way convincing them. There's just bro, listen. It's like what I say. When you guys go out there and fight, for example, all these dudes that are huge PlayStation fans, they get to a point when they start to insult you. And if you insult them back, what did they do, family? What did they do to gamers the other day? They even made him change his Twitter tag, because they banned him out of Twitter because he said something back to him. Because it sets you up for that trap. They always do. And that for them is a win, because they act like kids. They don't act like grown adults. I mean, it's funny. When you sit down, you talk to them through Twitter, they act all tough. But when you get up in personal, they hide. They don't get that personal. They don't go over there and put up their fist or bring up a fight. They won't do that.
Like J-Dub did with Paris.
They will never do that. They won't. They will never do that, because at the end of the day, you're just tough guy behind a microphone, just tough guy behind your keyboard. That's it. That's all you are. But you guys need to stop engaging with them, because at the end of the day, if you guys ignore them and do what I do, you know what I do? Every time I see Twitter blowing up, all I do is I put a little gif of me eating popcorn and just putting what's happening. And somebody comes in and comments, I'm like, oh, okay, just another day on Twitter. That's all I do. That's it. I don't go out there and fight with this dude. I don't go out there and fight with that dude. I don't go out there and fight with, because why am I going to fight with this guy since I know what's happening out there? I mean, just in today, take a look at what happened. Just in today, we saw Helldivers Trader. We saw Halo ODST jumping in there. They're collaborating and stuff like that. Bro, we're seeing that happen. And right now, let me tell you.
What's up, Kima?
And this is something that people don't talk about, because the truth is what they're competing is against all these service games. They have to go out there and compete against these big-ass games, because every time they throw out a game, what's happening? The game comes out. The game comes out. When it comes out, it's there for 1 month. The next month, it starts to fade away. And then for the third month, it's gone. Then what happens next? We wait for a sale. When the sale comes up, 6-8 months later, we see that. We see that happening. We see that game coming back to the top 10 for a little while. And then again, next month goes out, it fades away. That's what's happening to these games. And these guys want to keep these games in the top 10. What do you think they're putting it on PC? Because that's another one. They've always told me, and I love when they tell me that PC is not a competitor. Yes, it is. What do you mean it's not a competitor? It's a device for your game on. It's a competitor against the PlayStation. I mean, even PlayStation even came out and said
930 million PC players, by the way.
How much? How much? How much?
930 million.
1.9 billion, sir. 1.9 billion PC gamers right now.
Actually, more than I thought. It's off this report from Newzoo.
Yeah, I looked. You put it on Google. How many PC gamers are out there in total? It tells you 1.9 billion in total. That's 1.9 billion gamers out there. And it's kind of funny when you add up the consoles with that. Let's just add them up. That will be like 2.5 billion gamers out there in total. Now, these games, when they come out, just for them to sell 20 million, it's a good number. But they're not. What was the number one game in the world? Tetris. They're not Minecraft. Like Minecraft has 400 million sales right there. GTA 5 has 218, and still that does not leave a dent in the total of gamers that are around the world. There doesn't even leave a dent. If you add them up, it doesn't even leave a dent. That's insane, huh? When you think about it. So right now, these companies, what they're trying to do is, okay, we're making these big-ass AAA titles. Okay, they cost a lot of money. Let's start porting them. Let's start getting more players. Let's start, getting more people, to engage with these games. By keeping them in this box right here, those games that cost what was it? Is it 500 million to make right now? Do you think your gamers are going to buy it? I mean, look at Astrobot, for example. What I always say? Astrobot should sell 10 million copies, because the way they talked about it, I said for the first month, they better sell 10 million. They better sell 10 million copies. The first month came out, second month, and I see it's only 1.5 million. I said, what the hell are these PlayStation fans talking about?
Facts.
I mean, how come you couldn't buy that game? I mean, that game is a platformer. It looks like it's fun. Right? It's a fun little platformer, right? Why can't you buy it and play it? So you're telling me that in PlayStation there's only like 1.5 million people that love that game? That type of game? Shit. Come on. I mean, they don't support their own stuff. And that's another one, because the thing is, I'm waiting for the next Astrobot numbers, because I knew that they were 1.5 million. I know they bundled it up, and I can't wait for PlayStation to say, well, we sold 6 million copies of Astrobot, because I know they bundled it up. And then my theory about them counting bundle console sales comes out true. I'm waiting for that number. I just cannot wait for it. But at the end of the day, are people going to play it? That is the question. And the thing is, if there was only 1.5 million people on PlayStation that played it, okay, let's put it on PC. Let's see how it goes. Then you get 3 million people on PC that actually like those platformers, or let's say 5 or 6 million. The sales go up. And then you send it to the Xbox, and you get, 1-2 million most, people buying Astrobot, right? Then that's 2 million more. And so when you add up that number, you're like, oh shit, 10 million people bought this game. They're interested in this game around all platforms.
ROI, the better.
But you know what?
Exactly. But having it on one platform, it's just not going to work anymore.
But you know what, Lou? Mm-hmm. You hit a brick wall with that.
What?
I'm glad you're talking about gamers buying shit.
Yeah.
Because that's the brick wall that I was gonna really cook upon, but I was like, you know what?
I know
I might save that for another show.
Yeah.
But since you opened up that Pandora's box,
because
some of these fakers about to get their ass whooped tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So
we saw that Gen Z gamers are not buying games. We saw that.
There you go.
We know this. We know this. We don't even need a report to see this.
I knew this
was playing games, but they're not buying a lot of games.
I called checkmate the minute they open up their mouth and start talking about, we buy our games at $70. That was checkmate.
That was
3 years ago when they started doing that dumb shit. I said, they done screwed themselves, because we've been knowing they ain't buying no damn.
I'll give you an example. Look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man sold 2.5 million copies. But 5 million, what was it? 5, I think it was, so 2.2, I think it was 5.5 million that played it. I don't remember the numbers that were shown, but they were sharing that game. And in total, there was 5 million people who played it. Then the rest was a bundle thing. Now, the question is, how many people in total did play the game and did finish the game? Because there's one thing, guys, that you can play the game and try it out. But in the end, who finishes that game? I mean, that's the whole point, because at the end of the day, it's like they're over here saying, well, here on PlayStation, we buy games.
But Lou, listen.
Oh, you know. Helldivers, prime example, 3 million copies on PlayStation. The rest, Steam.
Lou, watch this, Lou. You rather them be playing it over and over again than to play it and beat it and don't play it anymore.
Exactly.
You see the problem with PlayStation? That's the problem with the PlayStation experience. So you rather them sit up there and take their time and play that damn game for months at the end and don't beat it, because every time they cut it on, they play the game, Sony's generating money for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the minute they beat that game, there it goes. It's done with.
It's done with.
The money stops. There's no more. Now they got to start selling it. They got to drop the price. But see, every time they drop the price, Sony makes less and less more money on it.
Exactly.
Because we know Who owns Spider-Man? We know that it's Disney that ultimately owns Spider-Man, right? On the video game side of things, Sony only has power of Spider-Man on the movie side of things.
Exactly.
So the less and less amount of sales that they ship it for, the less and less amount of money that Sony makes out of it. Now,
that's true.
Gen Z, between 17 to 25, right? They're not buying any games.
Because they're busy. They gotta go to college and pay up all those damn bills. That's what's happening nowadays.
Right.
Well,
I said this
we're going to get into some reports that say that they are playing games, but they're not buying a lot of games.
That's what everybody's doing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw this report. I said, we don't even need this report because I talk about it almost every day. Circana tells you right in your face, hey, listen, this is what people are playing, period. Nothing else. That's what they're playing.
I was saying this, Chat Pat is my witness. For years, I said, I figured it out. There's a generational gap happening with PlayStation. Either they done graduated from school. This before this report even came, I said they graduated from school. They either got married, they got a new job, something. But something is not right anymore because they're not buying games, right? Then we get an article that comes out. One of the top execs from Sony says it. They don't buy new games. So we even got a little bit more detailed. Okay, they're not buying new games, so they must be playing these old-ass games, right? So if they're still playing these old-ass games, there's no wonder that PlayStation Plus keeps getting the dip. It keeps dipping. It keeps trying to increase, but it dips. It dips because they're playing these old-ass games, right? Now, Sony can't make new money playing with them old ass games. And we know for a fact that they haven't changed because what did Yoshida say? He said, listen, if you want new AAA games now, you did this. So in order for you to get new AAA games now, you're going to have to buy remasters. See what I'm saying? Because we see what you play. You don't play anything new. You don't buy the new games. So we're going to keep sending you out these old-ass games, and you better buy them if you want new AAA games, right?
How about this? Let's
well, hold on, Lou. Hold on.
I'm about to throw some fire out here.
Let me finish cooking.
Oh, okay, go ahead, cook.
They know that with that little threat that they threw up, that was for them to wake up. But we know they didn't wake up. You think Sony really wanted to do this? Do you really think in your wildest dreams that Sony wanted to play this multi-platform strategy card? No, hell no. We know what their perception is. Here's the PlayStation perception. Over here, we got the best exclusives. It's the exclusives that's the reason why you buy a PlayStation. We know that's a shit ton of lies. We get it. We know that because we've seen the top 10 games every damn month that comes out on a PlayStation, and it has nothing to do with their fucking studio games. Absolutely nothing to do with their fucking boring-ass exclusives. We know this shit, but perception is beautiful on PlayStation's platform, and they have to keep throwing that same worm on that fishing line out in that lake, right? It's a hook, line, and sinker situation to these PlayStation fans, right? So the independent gamer gets caught up into that shit because what do the PlayStation fan does? He comes out in that world and he regurgitates that lie to everybody. So the independent gamer thinks, well, shit, let me give me a PlayStation because it has all the best exclusives. Then they get that son bitch and they're like, well, what the fuck am I? Where's all these new exclusives at? We're playing these old ass damn exclusive games. They're waking up. They're seeing it. You go on TikTok right now. And you got Gen Z guys that are teenagers dissing the shit out of PlayStation 5. I've never seen this before because they're waking up. They done seen now in 2 years that Sony's not giving them shit. Now whose influence is out here in the street now? Whose name is in everybody's mouth right now? Xbox, Game Pass. And people are talking about it in these schools, in these high schools. And these kids are seeing it. Man, what's up with it? They're seeing it. Damn, you get all these games. They're seeing it. Oh, well, damn. PlayStation putting their games on Xbox now. What the hell is happening to PlayStation? They're seeing it. So they're asking the questions now.
It's on Game Pass.
They're talking. Exactly. They're talking. And now they're realizing, dude, you think I'm bullshitting. You can think I'm bullshitting all you want to. Don't take your ass over to TikTok. I'm telling you right now. My son is the one who showed me that shit. He from that generation. He told me, Dad, come look at this. This is crazy, bro. He ain't even into that. But he's like, yo, well, you know, you be on your podcast, yo, they ain't gonna like this, you know. He gave me 10 videos. I told him I don't believe it unless you give me 10 videos. That boy showed me about 20. I said, damn, it's crazy. They over here roasting the shit. And the funny part about it is, the people who are doing it are avid PlayStation fans. Their TikTok channel is PlayStation channels. So it's no bullshit. You get what I'm saying? So they're at a disarray right now. It's a civil war going on, but they're silly like that. They civil war any little fucking thing over there. But realization is setting in that the old PlayStation is dead. Rez, I want to hear what the hell you got right after Lou finishes talking.
Because I have a theory, though. Maybe they wanted to get some money back for all the money they spent making all those games from back in the day. That's why they slapped a remaster to it. Maybe they wanted to do that. Maybe those 24.3 million copies or those 25 million copies did not cover for what the game actually cost back in the day, because that's something we don't know. Maybe it's that. I'm throwing a theory talk out here. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's why they decided to slap on remasters and remakes, because they wanted to make that money back. Because they said, hey, you want new games? You better buy these games. Because the only way, they were like, well, let's remake this game. It's better. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to remake it, and let's get that money back. Maybe they're trying to do that. That's why they decided to port it on a PS5 remake or remaster. That's why they wanted to port it on a PC with a remaster slap to it or remake, because they're trying to get that money back they spent by creating these games. Maybe it's that. That's something we don't know. Like I said,
3.6 billion Bungie acquisition as well. The 7.6 billion lawsuit.
I have a theory on that one. Which is pretty funny, though. I think by them putting games on Xbox and all this stuff can actually help them with that 7-point-something billion lawsuit. It actually can help them with something, but
I guarantee you that's part of it.
That's funny as hell, Lou.
Exactly.
That's funny as hell.
I speculated that. And I even said it on my show. Maybe because of this lawsuit that's happening, maybe they're trying to do this to put these games on Xbox, to put these games on Steam.
And remember, you got to imagine they probably already invested millions into fair games and into Marathon on top of all the live service games they canceled. Like, imagine how much money they dumped into those. So, yeah.
So it's like what I say. It's all been like, guys, listen. Me and family, we talked about the word exclusive. We talked about it. Me and you talked about how you even said it, you even said the perfect word for it. They weaponized the word exclusive. Why did they weaponize it? Because when the console came out, PS4 and Xbox One, what was the magical words they said? Well, I got 1080p. Xbox One is 900p. That sucks. But as soon as the Xbox One X, that little beast came out, where did they go to? They decided, oh shit, now they have a more powerful console. That shit pours out 4K 60 like it's nothing. It's a powerful little beast, a powerful little machine. Where are we gonna move the goalposts? Oh, they don't have exclusives. Let's talk about exclusives. Yeah, exclusives are the best things we got. We have exclusives, y'all don't. And the sad part about this, I even said this on my show, that we all fell into that whole exclusive thing, right? We're like, oh no, without exclusives, without exclusives, done. But shit, Microsoft went out and bought Bethesda. Microsoft went out and bought ABK. Right? But even though with Bethesda, they were putting games out there, but that wasn't covering that much. I was like, what's going on? They weren't covering that much. I mean, they were making money, but not that much. What's going on? I mean, the word exclusive, what's happening? And man, you saw a bunch of people crying for these exclusives. Now, the question is, did they buy it? No. They actually played it on Game Pass. Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day, okay. We played it on Game Pass. We had our fun. But we were asking for these exclusives like crazy. But look, now Xbox said we're going to start putting their games elsewhere. And what are they doing? They're racking up that money. And now, is that a bad thing? No, because it actually showed us that exclusives, in the end of the day, when it comes down to Xbox, even on PlayStation, they don't actually matter. How do I know that? Because PlayStation in 2020 decided to throw their games onto PC. Why PlayStation out of all things? I always found that weird. I always was like, hold up a moment. I don't understand what's happening. Why do you guys have to port your games onto PC, especially a thing that competes against you? People are like, no, it does not. Yes, it does, because you can game on it. And when somebody builds a PC, especially a $2,000, $3,000 PC, do you think they're going to go and with, let's say, a 3080, 2080, let's say a 5090 or 4080? Do you think they're going to go out there and say, hey, let me spend $500 on this little console to play this game? Hell no, they ain't. They'd rather buy an SSD. They'd rather buy a new motherboard, stuff like that. That's what they'd rather do. At the end of the day, if they're on PC, they'd rather keep on building a PC to make it better. And that's the truth. So why are you guys doing this? I always found that weird. Oh, they want to get those player engagements up. Oh, okay. They're using that player engagement excuse. Okay, they're trying to bring in more money. Okay, that's cool. So why don't you start putting in the Xbox? They were waiting for that right moment to start putting the Xbox, because that's what they do. They wait. Sony likes to play chess, because remember, Xbox, back in the Xbox One, when did they start? They started with the first Gears of War 4, I think it was, to start putting the games to PC day one. Was that a bad thing? No, it was Xbox extracting money. Sony saw it.
No, they're too forward thinking for the market, where the market's not there yet. And
exactly, they were too forward thinking. That's the truth. And then Sony started to do it in 2020. And yet these guys were saying, it's okay, let them port over there. Then they were like, oh, it's not selling well because, and I always said this in the morning, the reason why those PlayStation games weren't selling well, because they decided to block 180 countries where they had a bunch of fans buying those games. So that sucks for them. And that's the truth. That's what happened. And when they started to unblock, right, then sales kind of started piling up. But the thing is, how are you going to bring that PC player to jump into your games again? Because they don't know if you're going to reblock it again, knowing your butts. Now they're scared, right? Now they have to wait a while to see if you guys are not going to do it, and then they'll start buying it again. But that's the thing, though. Why did you start porting it? Because, of course, they need to get the money, because their player base of what they have over there, I mean, they sold how much? 120 million PS4s. 120 million PS4s they sold last generation. But yet that player base is not buying the games. What are they playing? Well, what are they playing? PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4? They're playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, sports games, GTA 5, and in sports games you got to include NBA 2K,
and 2K, Madden. That's it.
Madden, FIFA. What else? For example, Mario Rivals just came out. People are playing Mario Rivals. Overwatch, when Overwatch was super popular, it was out there too. I mean,
Rocket League,
another one. I mean, that's all they're playing. That's what these guys are playing. And Sony racked up a lot of money making these games, right? Trying to make the exclusives popular, but they failed on making it popular. That's what happened to them. They failed on making it popular, because the only place where exclusives are popular is called Nintendo. But other than that, anywhere else, they don't have popular exclusives. I'm sorry, they just don't. It just doesn't happen. We might fall in love with the character. Like, for example, we fall in love with Sonic. We fall in love with Master Chief.
Their popularity is dwindling.
Yeah, it's not the same as Nintendo. Mario keeps on growing. I mean, hell, Nintendo got a little theme park. Those guys are kicking ass for all that stuff. But at the end of the day, though, it's like what I said. These guys never got the way, like, to have to capture these guys to jump into their exclusives. They never have. Now, what they did was they bundled up on a console and started to count it as a sale to tell everyone, hey, we sold this much. Yeah, we sold this much. But at the end of the day, that person bought it to play what? Fortnite. I mean, let me tell you something, chat. And how do I know this? My nephew wanted a PS5. And I asked him, why do you want a PS5? Because it's got all the games. I'm like, okay, but you have played on an Xbox. No, that doesn't have any games. And I told him, listen. And I always tell the story, and I said, listen, you remember that thing you were playing on? That was an Xbox. Like, oh, that's an Xbox? Oh, I didn't know. I'm like, okay, so after a year of him getting the PS5, I sat down with him and I said, hey, why are you using your tablet more than the PS5? Or where do you like to play more? He said, no, I like to play more on the tablet. I'm like, why? I got all these games. I'm like, huh? Then why did you get an Xbox? He's like, yeah, I don't know, because I have my PS5, but all I do is play FIFA on it and sometimes Fortnite. I'm like, really? That's all you play? He's like, yeah. Did you play Spider-Man? Yeah, I tried it, just didn't like it. I'm like, oh, this is a 7-year-old kid talking to me, 8-year-old kid. that probably later on in life we probably appreciate Spider-Man, but maybe. But that's the thing, though. These kids are playing all these things, and that's what's happening nowadays. Everybody's playing these games. They don't want to sit there, complex themselves with all these stories. Like, for example, me, I've taken a break from playing these long-ass games because my mind is like, I played so many long games, I need a break. Now I'm playing shooters and everything, and I'm starting to understand why all these guys are loving this even more than playing a regular story game, because hey, you talk to friends, you have more fun. Hey, let's go blow this up. Let's jump over here. Let's run down here. That's why people are enjoying this more.
It's becoming more of a movie than game, and the games are supposed to be about fun, and that's why you play games, not to watch them or not interact with them.
But here's the thing, though. In order for it to be a good movie game, you got to have a good engagement with the game, kind of like what Rockstar does with Red Dead Redemption. Because those Red Dead Redemption, man, even though trust me, it's like, what is it, 28 hours long, I think, in video content. I think it was The Witcher. I don't remember which one it was. Just videos itself, the game has 28 hours into it. 28 hours just of videos. But the world is so engaging, you don't care about those videos. You just want to go out there, tie someone up, put them on a train, hijack a train, steal this, run around, kill a gator. That's what you want to do because it's so damn engaging. And that is something that happened too, because I always said this. Bro, you guys are spending so much money on all these open world games. There is so much out there. What happened to the simple games that we sit there and we play for 14 hours? Okay, next. They actually left them behind. Right now, for example, the indie devs are doing that. They're kicking butt with all that stuff. They're doing it, and they're kicking butt. For example, RoboCop took me even though it was a semi-open world game, but it took me 15, 16 hours to finish. And it was a fun 15 to 16-hour game to finish. Compared, for example, playing Expedition 33, and I'm not talking bad about Expedition 33, but right now I'm in the final part, but my head is so tired of just trying to level up all those guys to face the final boss. I said, I need to take a break. Take a break, Lou. And that's what I did. I took a break because, damn, that game is so big. And that's the problem with these games nowadays. They're too big. Why don't we make smaller games for a change? Why don't we make
overwhelming? Yep.
Overwhelming, yeah. South of Midnight is a masterpiece for this year, for example. I love South of Midnight. Good 15-hour game, fun, great story. Man, everything of that game was fabulous, spot on. I loved it. And, bro, we need that stuff to come back. I remember when we used to play one game that I missed a lot, so much. And that was the co-op fun games. There's not that much co-op fun games to play these days. We need that to come back, too. For example, Rainbow Six, Vegas. My God, I remember playing with my friends. Hey, let's go. 4 guys in there shooting up those terrorists, having a blast, man. That was a great time. We're playing a single-player campaign, having fun. That's a beauty that's not in there that needs to be here in order to play these games. They need to, but don't make it like a co-op game with a big-ass world. That's why, for example, another great game that I really enjoyed this generation was that zombie game, Dead Island 2. It was semi-open. So much fun, semi-open. Just do what you got to do and get out there, right? The new Mafia it's in that vein. 10 to 15 hours, a great time. Exactly. You don't need more than that nowadays. We need games like that. Look, you can throw out your open world games, which is a good thing. But at the end, though, we need these shorter games to be out there too. And you can make a good game with those with short times. You can make a great game like that. You don't need to spend open world and all this stuff or make a Souls-like game like they're doing now because everything's Souls-like in open world. Chill out with that. Come back to your usual stuff. Bring that back too, because those work and people right now will enjoy it. And PlayStation is full of that stuff. Oh my God, full of those long-hour games, man. I'm like, bro, y'all need to chill out with that for a bit. Seriously, come back to it. And they have the money to make these 15, 17-hour games that they can be perfectly fine, but they're not doing it.
And playing an 80 to 100-hour game, it's very draining. You almost don't want to. You want to take a breather because it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yep, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now I understand why did they play 5 or 6 games a year? Because shit, it takes you with the life you have. Look at me in Legal. Legal, how long did it take you to beat Stalker 2?
Too long, brother.
No, but that was a fun game.
You had 200 hours or something like that, right, Samo? Or something ridiculous.
But it took you a month though. But you had fun though, because it took me a month and a half to finish it. A month and a half. It took me up to January to finish that sucker. To just finish that game. It took
Russell said PlayStation exclusive 2009 and 2020.
It's over.
That's facts.
That's the thing, though. They don't have exclusive anymore because they forgot the term about what exclusive means. When it means exclusive is like, for example, only on PlayStation. That's it. That's it. That's exclusive to that. Like, for example, right? A game they have still not ported to PC is GT7, Gran Turismo. Still hasn't been ported either to PC or anywhere else. It's still on PlayStation. That's a game that's exclusive to PlayStation. Bloodborne, it's a game that's still exclusive to, man, is that a UFO, man? Oh, never mind, it's a chopper. I thought that was a UFO. I was like, it's a UFO, but it's a chopper. My bad, chat. Sorry about that. I was about to take pictures. But no. Like I was saying though, right? Another one. The remake that happened, Demon Souls, right? It was Demon Souls, did I say it right? Demon Souls is exclusive to PlayStation. That's not been ported either. So there's still some games that are exclusive to PlayStation. Still, that's what exclusive means. But don't come up to me and tell me, well, Horizon is exclusive in those on PC. No, it's not. Sorry, it's time exclusive. That's it. It's done and over. It's time exclusive. Spider-Man is not even exclusive to you guys anymore. None of that is exclusive to y'all. It's not. Yeah, but listen, Sanchez, they're coming up with a big update. I just read today. It should be posted on the XBI Discord. They're going to post it real soon. I read today they're going to come with a huge update in order when they start to port the PlayStation because they're fixing more stuff in the game. So it's going to be ported soon. Louis with the Sony product placement. My God, Rain G4, listen. The matter of the fact is they have lied to us for years about exclusives. We all found out the truth when the ABK deal happened. We saw that man. Not only that man, that whole company tried to get the regulators on their side trying to stop this buy because they said it, they called it, without calling it, we're done. And when all that stuff happened, we started to ask questions like, wait a minute, but aren't your exclusives the best? Why do you guys need Call of Duty when your exclusives are supposed to be the best? What's happening here, Sony? Are you guys lying?
If you paid attention, you saw how dependent they were on Call of Duty and how they acted during the acquisition. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They were shitting themselves because they lost their golden boy right there. They're like, no, I'm losing my golden egg right here. The thing that makes me the money of PlayStation. That was the shit right there. Nothing else. Because I did not see Jim Bryan talk about his exclusives. Like, yeah, exclusives are bringing the gold right here. No.
Call of Duty alone generates billions of revenue.
Exactly. Just for them right there. That's why they went out there and fought this shit like crazy. Look at Nintendo. Did Nintendo say something? Nintendo said, hey, bro, go ahead. We don't need this. Because Nintendo already racks its money on its own. We don't need this shit. They don't. Now, if it comes to Nintendo, they'll be like, okay, cool, it's here. Nice, awesome. And I know it's going to help on with sales. They're going to make a shit ton of money. They'll be happy to have it there. But at the end of the day, they go for it. I mean, hell, I know and not only that, Microsoft said we're porting it to you guys. They're like, yes, finally. We're trying to talk to Activision for years to port this shit. They didn't want to do it. Now you guys are doing it. I'm happy now. So Nintendo was happy with that buy. While PlayStation was complaining, do not buy this. Do not go for it. Stop this buy. Man, without this, we're done. Then they went nuts and said, well, this buy is happening. Let me go ahead and purchase Bungie. And call it the best buy in the world because that was the funniest thing. And famo, let me read you something that was so funny that I read the other day. And I was like, God damn. And people are like, well, this is Sony's fault that Bungie's doing this. I'm like, nope. It's not Sony's fault. It was all Bungie. And I read this in the morning show, and look what they says, right? These tallies with past comments from a former Bungie lawyer who stated that Sony was now forcing the studio to get their heads out their asses. This is quote unquote, get their heads out their asses and run Destiny 2 like a proper business. You guys listening to this? This was a lawyer, former lawyer, Bungie from lawyer who literally Sony told him to tell him that. So now we know who, in reality, what was the mistake. Because I've always said this, when Bungie left Microsoft, people are like, well, Microsoft let loose of the best guys in the world. I'm like, okay. When they went to Activision, left Activision, I even said, I don't know. I don't think Sony buying this is going to be a good buy. Because, I mean, these guys from two companies they left, especially Activision Blizz, what's going on? Why are these guys leaving like this, you know? They were out there on their own, making the money and everything. And all of a sudden, Sony's like, yeah, let's go buy them. Pick them up. Because they're like, yeah, this is a good buy. These are the guys that created Halo. They revolutionized the first-person shooter. They made it so much cooler and all this stuff. Really? They made it cooler in the 2000s, but we're in 2025. And what has changed from Destiny till now? And don't get me wrong, Destiny is a good multiplayer game. 100%. It's good. It's great. I mean, it kicks ass. But what has changed, though, since 2001 till now? Explain that to me, chat. What has changed? Now, Call of Duty keeps on moving on up. Like, for example, look at this Battlefield. Battlefield needed to sit down and say, hey, we need to bring back what we used to do cool and bring it over here and make it modern, which is a good thing. I'm happy with this Battlefield. For the first time, I'm saying I'm really happy with this one. I love the open beta. I had a lot of fun. And I am a big Battlefield fan. Man, my 360 days were playing Battlefield 3. I love Battlefield. Nothing against you Call of Duty fans, but I'm a big Battlefield fan. I'm happy that it's back. I'm really happy. Now, the question is, because now they're trying to use this as a win because they want to destroy Call of Duty. But the thing is, how is Battlefield going to face this? How is Battlefield going to stick up? How is Battlefield, going to maintain itself out there? Because, hey, Call of Duty has been maintaining itself for years out there, and every year they whip out a new game. Well, Battlefield, it takes them 3 to 4 years. So it's going to be interesting to see what they bring up in the table with this Battlefield. Let's see what's going to happen in order for them to keep alive and keep on going. Let's see. But, bro, at the end of the day, these guys, what are they playing? It's service games. They're not even looking at anything else. I mean, I was just looking at the top. Just when was it? Just today, early in the morning, I woke up. I said, let me see what Matt Biscuit is talking about. I saw the weekly charts. And again, top 10 games. Like I repeated it all the time. All these live service, sports games, and that's it. That's what everyone is playing, not only on PlayStation, also on Xbox. So, hey, that's what's happening. So what are you going to do? How did you get your game popular? Ship it over here, ship it over there, put it everywhere in order for that title to get popular, in order for that title to start running, because having it locked here in this console is just not going to work anymore. That's why they shift. Now these PlayStation fans are going to go out there and argue with you. They're going to go out there and debate with you. Listen, do what I do. Let them argue all they want. Just eat your popcorn, have some fun, and that's all. And don't worry, little by little, things will start crashing down. When you see Spider-Man on Xbox, they're going to be out there. They're going to say it's Marvel. When you see, what's it called, Days Gone on Xbox, they're going to say, well, Ben Studios needed that money, especially if the game got canceled. They're going to come up with every excuse in the world, and they will never accept that Sony went third party, which they already did in 2020. I mean, bro, let me tell you something, and this is facts. It took them 5 years to admit to this, that they went third party. Some of them did. It took them 5 years. No joke. I've seen them because as soon as Helldivers got announced on Xbox, I saw a couple of those PlayStation fans say, oh, shit. Now the third party. Bro, but they were third party in 2020 when they put it on PC. No. PC is not a competitor. Okay, whatever you say. It took them 5 years to admit this because they saw it landing on Xbox. That's how they are, man. So, chat, listen to the crazy one, right? Listen to the crazy about this. Don't argue with those guys no more. They have no point of argument. They go out there, put this stuff out there. Same thing with media. Media comes out with these articles that I just sit down and I laugh my butt off every time I read them because they got to find something negative to talk about Xbox. They always do. Always do. Always look for something negative because that gets the clicks. And all we got to do is laugh at them. So, yeah, stop listening to all those guys. Those guys are, to be honest, though, all they want to do is keep on with the hate, but their hate is done. It's over. There's no point in arguing with them anymore. It's just not. Just laugh at them like I do. And eat your popcorn. That's all you got to do, chat. That's all. And Rez just left. Where's Rez at? Rez, come back. It's your turn. I'm done. I'm done smacking around. Ah, shit. Yeah, that's another one, though. I mean, Russell, I get that a lot. And kind of funny, though, every time they come to me, every time they show me that the PS5 Pro is running at 120 frames, every time they show me that stuff, I ask them, hey, are you playing upscale or are you playing 4K native? They get quiet. They just get quiet because I even said it. Why in the blue hell am I going to go out there and spend $700 for an upscale console when mine already upscaling? Why the hell am I going to do that? Now, is the console problem? No, but it's the devs that are putting these games like that. So, hell, I'm buying an upscale console. Why the hell am I going to spend that money out there? They tricked you into that. And they're like, well, it's more powerful. I never said it wasn't more powerful or anything. I'm just saying, why are you spending $700 to keep on playing the same upscale games. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's why we can't pay attention to them. All we got to do is look out for the truth. You know, like always, look for people who speak out the truth, because there's still a few people out here that speak truth on this matter. A few. Some of them don't. Some of them would rather keep the console wars, some because they need it for their channels. Some like to do that stuff. I do it just to troll, just to have fun. And they do come into my channel, try to pick a fight with me. But me, I always tell them this: if you want to come here and fight, you got to bring a good debate. And they start lying. They start pointing out stuff. And then I said, you know what? It's time to ban them because now they're lying about stuff. That's what I do. Because why should I listen to them? Why? Why should I let them, with their negative narratives, come and affect me when I just saw Microsoft's numbers come up and they were nice? Why is it that 80 million consoles is the best thing in the world? Why do they think that's actually the positive and what runs the business? You just sold that console. That's it. What runs the business is the software, is the service, and all that stuff. And without none of that, you ain't got shit. It's kind of incredible, right? Kind of funny, chat. Sony hasn't had a good exclusive this generation. It hasn't. I think it was only Ashima that was a good exclusive, and probably God of War. There's only like 5 or 6 games that were pretty good. And look, they sold 80 million consoles. Kind of funny, huh? Well, Xbox keeps pouring new exclusives, yet they're not selling much as PlayStation. Kind of funny, huh? When you look at that. But what that tells you is the guys who are buying that console, they're not buying it for exclusives. They're buying it to do what? To play these service games. That's what they're buying it for. And that's what these guys won't tell you. That's why these guys won't admit to it. That's why, Chad, I keep on telling you, stop engaging with them, because at the end of the day, they're delusional out there, and they're doing it for clicks, and they're doing it to get you in trouble, to ban you from Twitter. They love to do that in order to get that W, that win. Yes. Like,
that's all they have.
That's all they have. So, yeah, right. President, that's all they have. You want to say something? Go for it. I'm done blasting them. So go for it.
I just think it's funny because, like Louis mentioned, back in 2020, 21, when they made that announcement that they were going to start porting to PC, we saw the writing on the wall. We tried to tell the fanboys on X, we tried to tell them that this was the direction they were going to eventually go, because, like Phil has said in the past, there is a ceiling, right? There is a certain point where they've hit these highest amount of players that they can engage with on just the plastic box. And they realize that they're not only leaving a lot of money on the table, but they're leaving a lot of potential customers and new players on the table from different platforms. So, I mean, we all know that, of course, they're definitely copying Microsoft with a lot of their ideas, but this is kind of just a sign of the change of the industry, right? Like, things are not going well right now. Mm-hmm. We're seeing history right now, like the direction that Microsoft had to go, the direction Sony's having to go, like the way that Nintendo's been acting with their prices and their console, and basically raising the price of the original Switch. That's never happened before in the history of gaming, where a console manufacturer or a video game company raised the price of their older consoles. Their prices always go down with their older consoles, right? So we're seeing things that we've never seen before in the industry. We're seeing record price increases all across the board for everything from hardware to services to software. Everything is going up. And you could see that they have to do things they've never done before. They have to go to places that they never thought they would go before. Like Louis mentioned, like Sony was always proud of their kind of where they started, right? Like their product, their games. They felt like they had a premium product that really introduced players to the type of games that they found that they enjoyed, right? So the fact that they're having to go outside of their comfort zone says a lot about where gaming is going, right? Because we're seeing it every month. every month, every week, every year, we're seeing those same reports from Matt Piscatella. We're seeing the ESA report, which I'm going to bring up in a little bit. And this is the Electronic Software Association video game report, where they basically do a full analysis on the state of gaming, like how much we're spending, how much we're playing, the age groups, the demographics, like women versus men, vice versa. So a lot of this is increasing. We're seeing a huge, we're seeing more people play video games than's ever happened in its history. Like right now, we've got over 200 million gamers in the United States alone playing games. We take up about 10 to 15% of the current world market share. But what's an interesting fact about that report is us in Europe, we spend about half of what the world spends, or close to half, according to these reports. Now, the data sometimes cannot be completely accurate, so don't take this with a grain of salt. This might not be completely accurate, but we're spending close to half of the total market share for buying games and services and products for video games out of the entire world. So we definitely take up a majority of that, and a lot of that is mainly from PC too. PC has been exploding, as Louis mentioned. There's now over 1 billion players, which I find that to be incredible. Like that's insane to me. But so these companies, they see that, right? They're seeing that insane growth, right? And they know that they cannot reach them if they continue to stay with their old traditional values and their old way of thinking of, let's just stick to our box. We know the players are there. We have enough players. We can make the money. No, it doesn't work anymore. And for many reasons. The first reason is the cost of development, right? These games are costing a lot more than they used to be back then. The games are much more complex, so it requires more time, more resources. They're having to invest in marketing, which marketing is becoming more expensive. Everything else around the release of a video game has become more expensive. So they have to have an even higher and higher ROI, right? Return on investment, right? They need more. They need to reach a higher player count. They need to try to get as many sales as they can from consumers, right? So how do they do that? If they stick to their box, they're never going to be able to get the type of return that they want, right? And they're seeing that it's not working. Like their strategy hasn't worked for a while. That's why Jim Ryan was trying to pivot to live service, because he felt like, because of the explosion of live service games and the popularity of it, Sony could capitalize on it with their brand name and loyalty and get people engaged the same way that these other companies are getting their players engaged with the games. But they found out that it's not as easy as they thought it would be, right? In fact, they realized they can't do it. I mean, it's not for lack of trying. I mean, we've seen how many live service games they had. Jim Ryan announced, I think there was 12, right? At the time, and they've already canceled, I think, what is it, Lou, like 10 of the 12, something like that. So really, they're kind of riding on Destiny 2, Fair Games, and Marathon right now. If these games do not turn out well for them, they might actually have to stick to the strategy that they're now approaching, because they're going to have to get to a point where they can't keep investing money into more live service games if they're not going to be profitable for them, right? So I feel this is the only other direction they can go, and they've seen the success of Microsoft doing it already. They see those numbers. They know that they're charting. They could probably have a accurate, at least an educated guess on crunching the numbers, what they're making, and they're already making millions, I'm sure, on PC for PC players. So that's just another avenue on top of Nintendo, which is their collaborations have started as well. We've already seen the first side of it, right, with Lego Horizon, right? That's just the start, right? The same thing with Microsoft. They started off with the just 4 games, right? And then what happened? They saw how successful some of those games were. Not all of them were, but that doesn't matter, because to them, like with Sony, it doesn't cost them that much money to port a game. It costs them an extraneous amount more to develop a new game, right? So mainly it's all profit. Like Shuhei said, it's printing money for Sony, right? So why wouldn't they explore these avenues that they never explored before? Yeah, they don't like it. I'm sure they it goes against some of their, you know, work ethics and how they've carried the business so far up until now, but they can't do it anymore. They really can't. They have to do this because otherwise they're just going to keep losing money, and they're going to be losing more money than they're making money overall after, if they continue on their path with the live service and they don't stop and things don't fall through with their current acquisition, like with Bungie, like, because they invested a lot of money in Bungie, $4 billion, and they still haven't paid them off yet. They're still in debt to Bungie right now. But so we kind of saw the writing on the wall, right? We knew they were going to do this. It was just a matter of time. Like, they did hold out for as long as they could, but then they started to see that during the acquisition, they also noticed that Microsoft started a new deal with Nintendo to release their games on their platform. So I'm sure they had some of their executives or some of their other leadership actually question that, like, why don't we do that? Like, that's just more revenue. Like, they need more revenue streams, right? We've talked about this in past shows. They're trying to gain as much ROI as possible because they've got a lot of debts to pay. They've got a lawsuit pending for overcharging their customers, which I'm not surprised because they do that with everything. They just increased, not that long ago, I think it was like a year or two ago, they increased the price of the controllers and the games, or the services, sorry. So, you know, they're trying to explore every other. They've got partnerships with Crunchyroll now, right? They're going like the different media routes with like streaming anime and streaming movies and TV, and they're just basically they're exploring every avenue possible to try to generate money, right? Because they know that those single player games that Lou touched on a lot, those exclusives are not cutting it anymore. Before they were getting profit, and some of them still are slightly profitable, but nowhere near on the returns they used to get for those same titles, right? And the engagement seems to be dwindling more and more. Like, even for Spider-Man, like, yeah, it sold 10 million, but like, as you said, 80 million consoles and only 10 million. Like, you would think that popular of a game, because we see it with Nintendo games, right? With Mario Odyssey, with Super Mario Kart, with Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, we're seeing that popularity is there, right? They're selling 25 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million copies, right? So why is it the same for Sony? Where's the comparison there? Why is there such a huge difference there in player engagement as opposed to them? It's because they've infused too much of the media side of their business into the video game business. That their games have become less and less fun and engaging, and more about storytelling and cinematics and movies and like movie types of performances, which, you know, some gamers like that. Like, there is that minority, but the majority don't. Like, they're not playing games to watch a movie. They're not playing games to just sit there and read a bunch of dialogue over and over again and not actually engage with the controller or engage with the game. Like, a lot of people are turned off about that. There's a huge section of gamers that are just not interested in that. And with the newer generations, we're seeing that even more so now, that they're even less interested in those type of games. Because I even, like you pointed out, Lou, with one of your friends, I've asked kids as well, and my other family members who are like teenagers, you know, why don't you like these games? You know, I tried it, I played it for a little bit, but it wasn't that fun, or, you know, I just wasn't interested in it, or I just didn't like it. You know, I like Fortnite, I like Minecraft, I like Rocket League. You know, I love that game, and like they'll talk you to death about those games. But you try to bring any of those other games in, they're like, the excitement, the interest is just not there,
Facts.
not for them. But yeah, so this strategy for PlayStation really just shows that they want to get on that money train, just like Microsoft. And I know Nintendo will probably be the last holdout. I don't expect them to do anytime soon because they have such a loyal base that they do well enough. They have enough engagement, enough sales, like enough of their console customers who bought the console are buying enough of their games. But even they came out though recently and said that their development costs are becoming too much and that they're exploring ways to cut development costs. And what I give credit Nintendo for is they don't lay off a lot of their devs. They do take a lot better care of their devs than the other companies do. I will say that. But you could see that they even are feeling the burn, right? They're feeling it too. That's why I think, and it's not just the tariffs. Like, yeah, the tariffs were probably a part of it, but the main thing with it is just the cost. Everything's going up, and they need to somehow make up those costs because they have other revenue streams too. They're investing in theme parks now. They're investing in movies now, and as you know, movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Theme parks cost tens of millions, if not 100 millions, to sustain every year. So it's not just the games anymore that they have to rely on. They have to rely on the revenue from those other areas too, because they have a balancing act now. So they have to basically charge more in different areas, which they're kind of doing what Sony's doing. But so Nintendo's even doing the same thing, and like they're doing history breaking stuff with this Nintendo Switch price increase of their old console. Like that's unheard of. Like I mentioned earlier, that's never happened before. So the industry's obviously going towards a downfall, I think, what I call a downward spin or toilet spin, to where if things don't turn around and we don't see any change with the type of games that people engage in, we're just going to see less and less more creativity, more and more live service games, more multiplayer games, less single player games, probably very few a year or maybe one or two at some point. And it might only just be Microsoft that'll be doing the majority of those because they can actually they're a bigger company, so they have more areas of revenue, and they're generating a lot of revenue with Game Pass alone. Like they're profiting on Game Pass every quarter. So they have other ways to make up for it or to balance it out, right? The way that they release their games, and a big part of that is Game Pass. So Sony can't do that. Like they have PS Plus, but they can't do day and date, right? They can't offer those same first party exclusives like on their platform until like at least 2 years or a year to 2 years after it releases, because they can't afford it, right? They need that revenue, right? From the initial launch. So this is something that we kind of saw coming with, I just think it's funny that they thought that job title was nothing, that they thought that it was just a continuation of the strategy, but it was literally right there in the text, like in the description of the job. It literally stated all platforms. So I just think that's a little hilarious. So they just couldn't read. They can't read or they can't comprehend what that title meant. But that job position, the reason why it was such a big deal on social media is because we knew Xbox players knew, or at least people who were that educated or that informed, I should say, knew what that meant. And it just kind of confirmed for some of us who already have known since their PC direction that this was coming. So a lot of that strategy is what they're doing. There's a lot of reasons for it, and I've covered a good amount of them, but I wanted to kind of go into this report I was talking about from the ESA, the Electronic Service Association. And there's some interesting facts that you guys should find out about this. And it's only a couple of months old, released in June. Yeah, I know. I just now noticed it. But in terms of engagement, we are having higher player engagement than we've ever had. Right now, the newest Generation Alpha, from 5 to 12, spend 83% of their week playing video games. And it's not just kids. 60% of adults play video games every week, and the average age of each player is 36. And what's even, I think, is even interesting is as we're getting older now, even the older generations are playing more games than they ever have. 60 to 61, the boomers, nearly half of them, nearly 50% of them in that age group are playing games. And even the older generation beyond boomers, the silent generation, or I think it was, I don't know if it was Generation X, ages 8 to 90 are also playing video games weekly. And we're actually up, according to this report. Now I've seen different numbers. There's a Zoo2 report that I was referencing earlier that Louis kind of disputed with the PC number. That one was floating around 240 million Americans playing games, but the ESA report is saying roughly 205. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt and say it's probably the latter, probably between 200 to 240 if I had to guess. But the more interesting thing is the split between men and women are almost at 50%. However, for older women versus older men, women play more than older men in the older age groups. So it's looking like all across the board, more and more people, different age groups and demographics, they are playing games. But the one thing it doesn't point out, which I think would be the stark difference, is how many of those are actually playing new games or different games and not just the same 4, 5, 6 games that we've already mentioned. That would be an interesting thing I would like to know. But we have never had as much engagement, which I think is exciting because I guess in my eyes, that could be a good sign, right? That things might not turn out so doomsday for the gaming industry. Maybe this is a good thing in some ways. I do hope that these players who are engaged in just the live service games, I really hope that they do open themselves up to playing these different games, because there's a lot of great games out there. I even tell my family, like, I don't like playing those games because like it invests all my time and I don't get to have to experience all these other games I want to try. Like, it's like a buffet. Like, why would you pick the chicken or the lobster when you've got like pizza and lasagna and like Chinese and like, you know, meatloaf and all these other different options? And you're just like, why would I just try one, like, or two? Like, I don't know. I just doesn't make sense to me, but I kind of get it. I mean, they've definitely found, Epic Games? They've definitely found the secret sauce with Fortnite. And the same thing for Mojang and Notch with Minecraft. Definitely found what that hidden magic is that keeps people having fun, getting them engaged over and over again. The same type of game. But my say on it is I really hope that this things shift, that people value games more.
Oh, shit.
What's up, Lou?
Oh, shit. I knew wearing this shirt was not going to be a good thing today. Ah, shit.
What happened?
Grounded 2 sold 3 million copies.
Woo!
Just be damn.
Just be damn. 3 million copies of So Grounded 2. Yes, baby.
Too funny, man. Y'all
this
cooking
is where
tonight,
the value
man.
of Game Pass is going to come in tonight.
Y'all doing a damn good job. Let the street speak. I'm going back on mute. Keep it up.
And this is where the value of Game Pass can really thrive, because with prices going up and all these things changing and everything's becoming so hard to live now and survive, that people are going to look for that deal, right? They're going to look for the the best value they can get, right? And right now, out of the three, Microsoft is offering that in many ways in one. And I think if they come out with this next Xbox and it's more powerful than the PlayStation 6, and even if it isn't, even if it's the same power level, what they're going to make up for is in the AI advancements, in the different video tech on top of the new storefronts that they're going to introduce with Steam and Epic Games and GOG. If they basically turn it into a full frontal PC console hybrid where you can play everything in one hub, like it's your complete entertainment box, which is what I feel like they kind of envisioned that a little bit during the Xbox One days, is this kind of scenario on top of their cloud, because their cloud gaming is growing and it's becoming a lot more popular. And if they fine tune their cloud even more with the upgrades that I heard about that they're working on investing into, where they make cloud almost seamless, where it's like just like a native console experience, they could really have a behemoth on their hands. And if people are able to play Xbox games on their phone at fast console speeds, like, and not have to worry about lag, and they're getting like those top tier games, or even just fun small games, they're getting all of their games at one place. Their Steam games, their Epics, their GOGs, their Xbox library. I mean, what more value is that? I mean, that's insane. I mean, how can Sony compete with that, right? They can't, right? They could try. I mean, they're definitely, I think that's part of the reason why another reason why they're taking this shift in their direction, because they feel like this is another way for them to compete. Nintendo is just going to continue doing what Nintendo does, but they're going to have more partnerships. You're going to see more Xbox games and PlayStation games on Nintendo than you've ever seen in history, because of everything that's going on right now. But this value proposition is really what I think is going to put Microsoft, maybe not in the lead, but it'll definitely get them competing with the other two in their own ways. And it's just going to be hard for families, like when they go out to that store and they know that they can get their kids a Roku Fire Stick. They don't even have to get them the Xbox. They could get a tablet, or they can sign up for Game Pass on their tablet or their phone, and they get access to all these games and even new games that they want to play, or even just the live service games. And then they have all their PC games, or they can get their PC games on Steam. I mean, the parents are going to go with that, right? More so because they look at that Nintendo right now. It's $500 if you want to get Mario Kart with the bundle. I mean, that's a much harder sell than just getting them Game Pass, right? So, I mean, they're going to have their kid get that more so than they're going to get even Nintendo nowadays, because that's where I think Nintendo kind of messed up, because I think they shouldn't have raised their prices, but, I get it. But yeah, that's basically my proposition on it, is Sony's just basically following the leader, and they're also trying to generate more revenue. They're also, I feel, a little desperate because their live service strategy did not work, and they're still holding on to the glimmer of hope that it might work, but so far it's not really yielding any results. And they've had to cut a lot of costs in layoffs and in canceling games and reducing their workforce in different ways, or cutting or removing roles to compartmentalize or restructure organization through their different leadership. So this is a good thing, I think, for Xbox and for all gamers, is because those walls are finally starting to come down. There's like no more barriers anymore. Everybody, I hope, at some point will be able to play Xbox games on Nintendo, or Xbox games on PlayStation, or PlayStation games on Xbox, or PlayStation games on Nintendo. Like the box shouldn't matter anymore, and I hope we're getting to that point.
Sony is the leader in what? Making up lies? Yeah, Sony's the leader in that because the one that's leading in console sales, not Sony, is Nintendo Switch, baby. Let's go. Keep going.
And these fanboys seem to forget that the profit margins on those consoles are like, what, 2% or less than 2%? So, like, I don't understand how they think that's a big win for Sony when that's really not anything near to what they need to sustain the business and to run the business. It's a small little profit, but it's really not where their money, their bread is, right? Their gold. Like, it's all in their revenue generators through their subscription services and through their games. And something that the donkeys just seem to easily neglect, even though they know that's the truth. But what do you think, Famo? Do you think this is
shit?
Do you think the wall gardens are finally coming down?
It's been coming down, man. It's just the media's been playing it off as well, bro. It's just making it seem like things have been, all blue skies and rainbows, man. But we've been seeing it going down, man. It's been going down for a while, bro. I mean, you read the reports, man. Sony's been in a deficit for over 10 years, bro. It's nothing really matters, man. They have to do this, man. They have to reshape, and it's like I said, at least they're coming out admitting it. For once, they're doing something right by admitting it, and I know they don't want to. I know they don't like to because I know their perception is a masterpiece for them. But you got Sony out here literally abandoning what they stood for. That's game changing in itself, man.
Mm-hmm. And funny thing is, I don't know what they're cheering for because the first 10 million consoles of Sony, they did not make any money, but okay. Minus the 10 million.
No.
Yeah, Mike Johnson being silly in the chat. I see you, brother.
No, that's J Dub's General because he is a moderator in J Dub's channel.
What's up, Jago 6?
Hey, Jago 6, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Yes, we are, man. Yes, we are. We're trying to get through some games right now, but we're going to hit you up, man. We're going to be hitting up J-Mac soon, too. We're all going to come around full circle, man. Just bear with us. We got a lot of games we're trying to put down right now.
Yep. That's what we're doing. We've been playing a lot of stuff lately. Been stuck playing a lot of stuff, too. Damn.
I have to salute Crazy Lou and Resident Gamer Zero, man. Great show tonight. Great, y'all. Hey, y'all told me y'all had a lot to cook. Damn, y'all cooked, man. I mean, y'all did fantastic tonight. I listen. Y'all said some interesting things, man. I'm just sitting back, just listening to the stuff that you guys had in store, man. A lot of stuff that y'all really, put some time in to feed that information. So yeah, man, that's good stuff, man. Like I said, the streets always need to be heard, man. It always needs to be heard, and y'all did a damn good job tonight, man. So with that, I'm gonna hand the mic to Resident Gamer Zero and close us the hell out, man. Get us out of here, bro.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We always enjoy you guys being here. This is mainly the reason that we do this. Another reason is because it's fun. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, enjoy talking about the industry and gaming. Video games are fun. We should all have fun, and it's not that serious. And don't listen to the haters like Mike Johnson down there. Gaming is good for everybody right now, and I feel like it's only going to get better with these barriers down, and this is a good thing for everybody. And thanks for coming out tonight, Lou. We appreciate you as always. And thanks for chatting, everybody. We're going to call it a night tonight, and we will see you next time.
Peace, guys. Have a good night. And subscribe to my channel. I put it there. See you all tomorrow morning because I'm back tomorrow morning, baby.